Hey, spring break dudes. Hello. And like, welcome to
distance learning.
A big difference between type and regular graphics in Photoshop is that the type layer is a vector-based artwork, meaning that it's sort of mathematically defined shapes, meaning most importantly that you can scale it up, scale it down, distort it, whatever, without a loss of image quality. If I take type and make it really small, then I make it really big again, it looks totally fine. This is unlike pixels, right? Where remember when we scale something down with pixels, we are throwing away detail. When we go to scale it back up, that detail is lost. So we're going to do a real quick exercise just to walk through that and also to show us sort of how to draw some shapes. So I have opened up this image, which you should have too. It's some sort of like egg something, egg bread JPEG. So we've got that. That's cool. The egg is cool. The bread is cool. I don't know. Super weird. Let's go over here to our toolbar and grab the polygon tool. If you don't see that, click and hold on the rectangle tool and you will see that on there. Once you've selected one of those, you will have this contextual menu across the top, and from there you can also go up and make sure that it is set to shape. Usually we have it set to pixels. In this case we have it set to shape. Moving right along that contextual menu, let's go to fill. Let's choose a color. I'm going to go with a fuchsia color. There is also a stroke, right? That is the line that sort of goes around the outside of, excuse me, pardon me, runs around the outside of that shape. I am going to set it to this null color, meaning that there is not a stroke. And that's pretty good. I'm going to come over here to number of sides. 5, yeah, 5 seems like the right number of sides. You could give it 6, 7, 8, whatever you want. And then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go right here to this gear, click on that, and I'm going to make sure that my star ratio is set either to 50 or 70. If you set it to 100, you will just get a regular old polygon. So in fact, let's try that out. So I'll set it to 100. And there we have a lovely polygon. Hit escape and Command Z. Now let's go back here and set my star ratio to 50. Now when I draw it, I'm going to hold down Shift to constrain the proportions. You'll notice that I get a nice star. So I'm going to escape out of that, delete it. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. And what I would like to do is draw some stars on this egg. I feel like maybe magenta was the wrong choice. Let's go for a royal, maybe French blue. Okay, so let's draw some little stars on our egg here. One of the things that may make your life a little bit easier when you're doing a shape like this, you go back up the gear and the bottom and click from center. Then you are drawing your stars from the middle of the star, which, although it's not great for like rectangles or whatever, I think for a star that is helpful. One more. Oh, come on, just one more. You're right to me. Okay. So a couple things to notice. Every time we drew one of those, it made a new layer. They're all just called polygon whatever. And there they all are. If I grab the move tool, I have to select one. I had auto select layer turned off. Right, we can move it around. If I have click show transform controls, we can make it bigger or smaller or distort it a little bit. But that's the shape tool. Now let's check out the difference between that and this underlying image. The underlying image is raster based, meaning it's made just of regular old pixels rather than being mathematically defined shapes. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and double click on that background layer to give it a name and make it a regular layer. And then I'm going to go here into my layer menu. I'm going to select all the layers. So I've got all the polygon layers and my egg bread layer. So with all of those selected, I'm going to go ahead and hit Command T for free transform. Sorry, Command A to select all. Goodness gracious. That is not working well. Let's try it one more time. There we go. Command A, Command T. Alright, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to scale it down really, really small, right? So pay attention to how small we're scaling it. That is how small we want to scale it, right? So now my egg bread is teeny tiny, and now I'm going to do the same thing. Select all. All right, so make sure we got all of our layers. Command A, transform. And I'm going to scale it back up to full size. And hit return. Now you'll notice that when we did that, if I come in here, my stars are just as perfect and precise as they were when I first drew them, right? I haven't had any loss of quality in my stars. My underlying image, however, looks like garbage. So because I shrank down those pixels, I threw away a whole bunch of information, and when I scaled it back up, that information doesn't come back, right? I threw all the information away, so now Photoshop is making up information as I demand it to make more pixels. However, with the stars, because they were mathematically defined, shrunk it down, still mathematically defined as a shape, scaled it up, still mathematically defined as a shape, right? That math is saying, hey, you know, it's like angle, line, angle, line, angle, line, whatever. That can be scaled infinitely with no loss of quality. So that is the biggest difference between vector art and raster art. Vector art, you see it used for logos and packaging design and typography, and it's great because I can make my UPS logo, I can print it really big on a billboard, I can print it really tiny on a business card, and I don't have to redraw it every single time. So there you go. Go ahead and screenshot the blurry looking egg that's been scaled down and scaled back up with the nice and crisp polygons of some sort on there, and throw it on the Padlet.